It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's burbot season and we are in the heart of it. We're talking pre-spawn, spawn, and even post-spawn all happening on this same break right now. And that's the time of year where, look at this, it's not dark. You can catch burbot in the daytime. And I just want to take a real quick break from staring at the graph when there's a fish on there and I can't think and talk at the same time. And talk about my setup real briefly. You can absolutely use your typical walleye gear to catch burbot, a 28 to 32 inch medium rod, medium heavy, your typical walleye stick. But if you want to step up your game, get you a whoopin stick. Now, outside hole hopping, which is typically what we do for burbot, I like a longer rod, better hook sets, better control over those fish. Just overall, you're in control of what's going on. And this is a 42 inch heavy, fast action. It's actually called the Greenback by Elliott rods, designed for those big Manitoba greenbacks, even smaller lake trout or average lake trout. But it's a heck of a burbot rod. And normally I'm all about extra fast action rods, but this is one of those times where I really like the bend of a fast. So instead of, say, tapering off right here, you can see how it flexes through about a little over half of that rod. And what that does is when those fish are thrashing and rolling and bouncing around, it absorbs those head shakes and rolls. You don't tear hooks, and man, it feels good fighting them on it. Now, because I've got so much play with my rod to fight the fish, I like beefing up my line. Some guys like running 6-pound lighter stuff. Burbot aren't line shy. I like bumping up to a 10-pound. This is actually Sufix Advanced, which is not designed for open or ice fishing, but it is an awesome line on the ice. Mono, because it doesn't freeze up like braid, and when we burbot fish, it's usually end of February all through March, and it's warm enough that you can hop around and not cozy up in a shack. So that 10-pound mono works great. It's nice for if guides do freeze up or whatever. I'm not worried about breaking 6-pound by pulling on it. What I'll do is I'll use the tiniest swivel I can get away with and throw on about a 12 to 15 pound fluorocarbon leader. The thicker leader, because burbot aren't line shy, gives you an anchor point for moving around. Your baits foul up less, meaning your line's not going to get hooked in that treble hook from pounding bottom. And yeah, a little 00 or size 0 VMC Crankbait Snap. That's the one with the teardrop bottom, so the spoon gets all the movement and action you can get out of it. And I actually use my open water reels for burbot. You don't have to buy a special one. This is a size 30 Okuma Helios, and that bigger size lets me use bigger diameter line, have smoother drags. I'm bringing in more line with every crank of the reel, so there's no chance for that line to go slack and have them pop off. Now, if you're burbot fishing, this is not a sponsor or anything, this is just something that you have got to get yourself. Babe buttons, bro. These little things are just a lifesaver. All it is a little chunk of rubber that you put over the hook to pin those minnow heads on. Now with burbot fishing, you're pounding bottom, you're snapping that bait, and those minnow heads, when your hook hits bottom, will slide off of your hook, and within 5 minutes you won't have a head on any of your 3 hooks. And so by putting that bait button on there, you literally fish until you catch one before you need to put new bait on. If you want to step up your burbot game, how fun does that look?